Greetings, family. I'm trying this again. I hope it works out. I'm checking my phone at the same time. I'm using a different system to go live. So I'm hoping that this is working for you all and that you are able to see me at this point. Let's see what's going on. Let's see if it's working. All right, it says I'm live. So I guess at some point you all will be able to see me on this live. It says I'm live. So there we go. I got it. I guess at some Don't laugh, y'all. I'm very grateful. There we go. I got it. So I am here. I'm sure you all saw the title, and I just had to tell you guys what happened, okay? So the title is How I Was Assaulted in a Taxi Cab. And I wanted to talk about this because, hi, Synovia. Blessings, sis. Thank you for coming back. I was struggling. So I'm here to talk about how I was assaulted in a taxi. And I'm smiling because when I tell you, y'all gonna laugh. I'm telling you, like, it tells you how much you've grown and how you handle things differently. So I'm in a taxi, right? And how taxis are, when people get in a taxi, you can get on a van or you can get in a taxi. So I'm in a taxi with other people. So that's considered like a local trip. And I don't like sliding across the seat, right? Because, I usually have on a skirt. So I get in a taxi, somebody jumps in the front seat. So I'm sitting in the back, and there's a sister already in the taxi, right? So she's dressed in full Muslim garb. I didn't really look at her. I just knew it was a sister sitting there. So I'm conscious of her. There was a girl getting in the taxi the same time I was getting in. So I held the door open for the younger sister to go ahead and get in. And she said, "No, Auntie, I'm getting out before you." So if someone's getting out before you, it's usually polite that you just go ahead and get in because you're going to have to get out the way anyway, unless you don't mind. So I was like, okay, cool. I got in. Then the girl gets in next to me. So the one that's already in the taxi is like kind of, you can feel her energy that she's kind of in a hustle bustle type. She's a little lost. She doesn't know where she is. She's talking to the driver kind of gruff. I don't really know what's going on with her, but I'm minding my business. Honey, out of nowhere, the phone rings and she digs in her bag and literally goes like this. She's digging and she goes boom, and I'm talking elbow to my eye. When I tell you this, her elbow hit my face so hard that you heard it hit the bone, right? Everybody in the taxi turned around and was like, ah, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Like, people will do that, right? If you trip, they would be like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. They're not laughing at you. They're trying to help you. They're saying they're sorry for your fall because they thinking it's over. Yeah. So she elbowed me to my face, hit me under my eye. I literally was like stunned for a minute and I just closed my eyes. And I sat there and I said, how much space do you need? Do you really need, like, what is going on that is so important on your phone that you are not considerate of who's around you? She was just like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. She kept apologizing. Everybody was apologizing for her. And I'm sitting there with my eyes closed, just like, because the blow to my face was like, yo, I never been punched in my face. Now I'm sitting here and I'm taking a blow from somebody's elbow to my face. And I just sat there for a minute and I was like, I'm not even mad. What's wrong with me? Like, I should be upset, right? And I said, no, she's saying she's sorry. It's obviously an accident. I've just been assaulted, but it's an accident. What do you do in a situation like that? Right? Because old me from the West, baby, I'd have been snatching her wig. For real, for real. I would have been snatching her wig, right? I'm just checking out the comment. Oh, I'm happy to see you too, sis. For sure. I would have been snatching her wig for, with the realness. I'm hoping y'all can still see this broadcast. So, you know, new me, spiritual me is like, this was an accident. Um, there has to be some sort of lesson in this. And that's where I was. Like, I couldn't even be upset. I'm just checking to make sure this broadcast is still on because I'm not seeing it on my phone. Let me see. I want to make sure it's playing, y'all. Because the internet be kind of funny here. So I got to be checking in with y'all, make sure I'm still broadcasting. It's very windy tonight. So I just want to make sure we're still on. But it is definitely windy. And I want to make sure we're good as I'm talking to you all. Because I'm not seeing the chat. Oh, see, now it's saying no video. Okay, thanks. Why is it no video? What just happened? I'm not sure what happened. My camera is on. Let me see what this one's saying. Oh, okay, you can hear me, but are you able to see me? Because I think it's saying on my end, when I look, someone's put in the chat no video. I think that was Ness put in no video. So I'm not sure what happened. If you all are able, let me see if I can get the camera back again. Yeah, I'm not clear what happened. Let's see, let's see. Yeah, I don't know what happened with the camera. I can see camera on my end, but for some reason, you all are not getting the camera on YouTube. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I know the connection's kind of bad, so it's very windy, and I'm thinking that may be interfering with my connection, but nevertheless, as long as you can hear me. So that was my thing. I took this blow to my face. She hit me like right under my eye. And immediately I was like, there's no way I'm walking away from this without having a black eye. I just knew I was going to have a black eye. And it's been, I guess, 2 days since it happened. And initially when it happened, I was just like, well, I don't know that I want to come on with a black eye. That would be doing the most. Um, but I definitely wanted to express how these things can happen and you don't even have to do anything. Sometimes things happen by accident. And what is our response, right? Because when we're coming from the West, I think our response oftentimes would be to defend yourself. I mean, I told people this story and they wanted to defend me in me telling the story. That like what? Somebody did what? Like someone tried to hurt you, but I knew it wasn't intentional, right? So, what are we really doing when we're behaving like that? When we overreact, when we act out in a way that is not productive for anybody involved. Like I could see that the sister was obviously upset. The one that kind of elbowed me, she was like in a frizz, just kind of all over the place. I could feel her energy. And then the younger sister that was sitting next to me, I was thinking, this could have very well been her getting hit in her eye and not recovering from it. This sister happened to hit me like on the cheekbone. And I got like a little bump that came up. I forget what you call that when you get that bump before you get a black eye, right? But it didn't bruise. It didn't bruise. And people barely noticed it. Like I was showing them because, it was a noticeable difference to me. And obviously that area was sensitive. But in the moment, it hurt and kind of stunned me, but not enough for me to be angry. And I was like, yeah, you have grown, sis. I had to say that to myself. Like, you've grown, the simple fact that you're not tripping right now. So when the lady finally I ended up getting out of the taxi because I guess the phone call told her she was in the right place. She got out of the taxi. She was still leaning into the car, telling me how sorry she was. I'm sorry, sister. I'm sorry. She kept saying sorry and apologizing. And I just was shaking my head because, in that moment, you don't really want to hear an apology. You just like, yo, you doing the most right now. So I wasn't happy with her, but at the same time, it wasn't anger. It was more disappointment. Like, why, how could you be so inconsiderate of others that you think answering your phone is more important than someone's safety? And I have to tell you that is not the first time that someone has rubbed me the wrong way, if you will. It's the first time I got hit in my face, but people have come close, right? People have been digging for things and doing stuff, and I'm like, what? They're not being careful, you know? Oh, for real, Synovia, for real. Yeah, that rage, my listen, that part, I don't have that anymore. I just don't. Like all I have is really a general love for people. And even when something like that happens, I'm looking at how she was in pain. She was doing some healing. Even the younger sister, I'm looking at, I took an L for her, right? Because that could have been her getting hit and maybe her eye being actually damaged because it was a younger sister and she wasn't quite as tall as me from where she was sitting. Because, some of us have short torsos or longer torsos when we sit in the vehicle, right? Depending on how long your legs are and how long your torso is. So she may have taken that blow differently. It might have really damaged her or harmed her. Or maybe the blow was for her, right? Because she really would have been sitting there had she gotten in the vehicle when I was like, I didn't want to slide over. The other lesson was this, right? Here's a key. When we don't want to do something and we do it anyway, look what happens. Because I did not want to slide across the seat, but I put someone else's wants before what I wanted, right? That's that people pleasing stuff. And when you do stuff like that, sometimes you get the consequences. And my consequences were I really did not want to slide across the seat, but I did it anyway. And when you compromise yourself for what other people want, it's a toss. You might come out okay and you might not. So it's definitely food for thought. So I'm just so happy to come and tell you all that I did survive the blow to the eye. Yes, honey, let me tell you, my new thing is that people pleasers are liars, right? And in that moment, that could be viewed as a people pleasing moment, right? I didn't want to move across the sea, but I did it. I put someone else's needs before my own, and look what happened. So we can't blame anybody when these things happen. We just got to take a L. You got to take it how it comes and move forward. So, I didn't. Synovia, you know what? It was a while before I actually got home. And when I got home, it had stopped hurting. And I kept thinking, I probably should ice it anyway. I probably should do something. But I didn't. And I didn't see any bruising happen. And I bruise kind of easily, you know. I don't know, maybe with my new tan, I don't bruise the same. But I bruise easily, but I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything, you know. So, you know, it is what it is. I didn't do anything. Yeah, you know, and you know what? We say people pleasers can't be trusted, but guess what? How many of us have done things that we really didn't want to do because we thought we were doing the right thing, or we didn't want to cause waves, you know? I think we've all been people pleasers at some point. We do it with our families, we do it with our children, we do it with our partners, and then we have regrets later. But in that moment, what I learned was I need to always be cautious, right, about what is going on around me and not be so comfortable that I don't want to walk around defensive, but I can still be aware, right? And when I saw her shuffling around, I could have been like watching, right? Because generally, when people go to reach or move, I'm paying attention because they will pass money like right across your nose line, you know? Um, it is what it is. No, don't regret it. It's true. Because then you got people, you know, there's levels to it. Like we say, there's levels to this journey, there's levels to people pleasing. You have people that people please because they want to get other people's approval. You have people that people please because they don't want to cause waves, they don't like confrontation. You have people that people please because that's all they've been taught to do, right? And then you have people that try to please others because they feel like if they don't do it, they won't be loved or accepted. But when we say lie, it sounds kind of harsh, but what we're saying is that you're lying to yourself. You're lying to the people you're doing it for because you're doing it and you know it's too much and you know it's overwhelming you, you know it's causing you anxiety, but you do it anyway and then you regret it, right? They don't know that you lied because you're lying to yourself. They're just thinking they're getting what they want out of the deal, you know? So it's just one of those things that it just really made me see how much I've grown because old me, I would have snatched that wig in a heartbeat. It wouldn't have been no questions asked. I wouldn't have cared how it happened. We would have been rumbling in the back of that seat. Okay. The garb would have been off. The bag would have been torn up. It would have been a mess. And but what would that have accomplished? So I took an L. I can honestly say I took an L. I used to hear that song. I used to sing it all the time. I ain't really know, you know, you can't relate when you haven't been through that. But I took an L. I took one for the team. I had to make y'all proud. I can't be have y'all come on here be telling you how I've been rumbling in these streets. I don't move like that. My energy won't permit that. This journey will not permit that. I cannot claim that I am moving in love when I'm rumbling. You just can't. So it just really made me do some introspection into what was the lesson in that, right? Stop being so accommodating, right? It's okay to be selfish and be like, I'm not moving over, so somebody going to do something. For sure. For sure. But when you think about it, popping off is the easy thing. One thing I've learned during this journey is that self restraint, that's where the real power comes from. Being able to manage yourself and not allow others to control how you move and how you feel, that's the key right there, right? That part. Folks ain't ready for that. Everybody ain't ready for that, you know, and everybody's not capable of doing that. So it's deep. It's really deep. And so I have to say to y'all that greetings, oh, greetings, Dwight. Good to see you. I was just telling the sister how I took a blow in the cab, and we've been elbowed and knocked around and pushed. But when you take a blow to your face, baby, that's a whole nother level. That's a whole, like I said, I've been slapped. I got brothers, we done bopped around, fought, cousins. But when somebody elbow you to your eye, come on now. Yeah, for a minute, when I tell you my brain was ringing, I was like, yo, did this lady just elbow me in my face? So, but I wasn't angry. And that's when I knew. I think I was more baffled by my own reaction than I was, but than the blow to my face, for real. For real. Quick recap. So I got in the taxi. Another girl was getting in the taxi, and I told her to go ahead. And she was like, no, no, you know how they do. I'm getting out the next stop. So you be like, okay, let me just get in. I want to get home. I'm going to slide over. So I slid in to the cab, and it was a lady already in the cab. And she was kind of like anxious and moving on, talking, trying to figure out where she was. You could tell she was a little lost. And when her phone rang, she was fumbling around for the bag in her bag, and she took her arm and went boom. I mean, literally came back with her elbow and hit me right under my left eye. And I was getting in the cab. It was at Senegambia, right by the craft market. Because, there's huge construction going on there now. So you have to cross the highway. It's a whole big thing. So when she elbowed me, it hit the bone and you could hear it. Everybody in the taxi turned around like, oh, Auntie, are you okay? Are you okay? Sorry, sorry. Everybody was saying sorry for her. She was apologizing. She just, oh, sister, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I just sat there with my eyes closed for a minute and I was like, you really not even upset? Like, I think I was in my own state at that point. I was like, you're not even upset right now. Like, what's wrong with you? Who are you? Because, Dwight, old me would have snatched that wig. Quick, 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 quick. We'd have been rolling on the road in the red mud. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been that situation, but it just was so deep. I couldn't believe that I didn't react another way. I was just like, yeah, you definitely are on something different, And all I kept thinking was, here it go, another bruise to my face. And I say that because I don't even know if I told y'all about the time that I was cutting an orange in the kitchen. I was cutting this orange and the juice from the orange kind of spurted in my face, like on my cheek and across by my nose. Do you know that acid, the citric acid from the orange kind of burns my skin a little bit? I took some water and I splashed my face. But later the next morning when I got up, I could see where the juice went across my face and it looked like a burn mark, like a scar. I was like, did I come to Africa to get scars? To get burns? I could tell you I got scars on my arm from when I went down hills. Yo, it's deep. Dwight up here with the compliments. You too much. Listen, I wasn't feeling very pretty when I got elbowed under my eye, okay? Yes, but it didn't bruise. I didn't end up, so I can still say I've never had a black eye, but I did have a little tiny bump come up like it was gonna swell. I didn't ice it. Zenobia was asking me that earlier. I did not have to ice it. It lasted about a day or two. I'd say 2 days, and then I was good. I was fine after that. So my point is that you may be assaulted and you can't be flipping out and acting crazy. You got to just handle it. You got to handle it and keep it moving, but you will get bumped around on these Gambian streets and these Gambian taxis, standing at the bus. You may even have somebody knock you out the way. Okay, so you got to be careful in these streets. But I thank y'all for coming on and dealing with my technical difficulties. And I just want to tell y'all to remember Do not react in the moment. Really think about what is happening and how it's happening, and know that no one's really trying to hurt you. People are just really hurting themselves. And the way they react, you may suffer the consequences of that, and you should be prepared. So I thank you guys for coming on. I am going to head out because I got some work to do and I have another video that I need to make. So I want you all to take care. Safe travels. I hope to see you all in the Gambia soon. And blessings, family. Blessings.